Tell us if.
Okay. Miss Becall, what was it that attracted you to Wonderful Town and the role of Ruth?
Um, well, many things about it. The score, written by three very good friends of mine, Bernstein, Comden, and Green. The story, which is terrific fun, I think, and very basic, having to do with struggle, wanting to accomplish something in your life, having a goal. I'm boiling it all down to, kind of simplistic terms. And love, all necessary parts of everybody's life, all needs that most people have at one time or another. And I could identify with it, understand it, and it's great fun. It's a part that I have thought about playing and I've been asked to play before, and it kind of it never came up at the right time. And then I was for a long time not terribly in favor of doing musical revivals because there had been so many. But this show, then I reread the book of the show and found that it applied very much to today and held up very well, was strong, and so I thought, well, it's terrific. It'll be like doing a new show because Wonderful Town has not been played very much. And so it is like a new show. And we have a wonderful company, and a company of actors. They all are first-rate actors as well as singers, and it's just been a very, very happy experience. And Arvin Brown, who is our director, I suppose you know, runs a theater called the Long Wharf Theater in New Haven, who is an extremely talented man whom I've always wanted to work with, so this is our first little breakthrough. So and Peter Gennaro, of course, has never choreographed this before, so it's all, we're all going at it as though it's a show that had never been done before, because we'd never done it before.
And out of that then will come the freshness and...
Yes, I think so. And I think that's why it is so enjoyable and it is so pleasurable. And that's why it's a curious thing. You see, I've never done a summer tour before. And I'm used to rehearsing in New York and then trying out of town and making changes along the way. And then by the time you're ready to open, you are ready to open. But here, when you're ready to open, you open whether you're ready or not. And there's no time to say, just a minute. No previews, no nothing. That's it, So we are in proscenium for the first time. We've been playing it in the round up until now. So, we have to rethink everything. We've been going around in circles for weeks now for the round, and now we have to start again thinking of there being 3 walls instead of 4, and, one audience out front. So the brain is a little fatigued.
Well, as they say, as long as you don't bump into the furniture, you're okay.
Yeah, and fall down, right, exactly, because with a pit, you're apt to, it's dangerous.
Of course, your role in Applause has made musical theater history. You won the Sarah Siddons and the Tony Award, and that was your first musical coming out of Motion Pictures. And I've thought about that so many times, Miss Becall, and I thought if I ever have a chance to talk with her, I'll have to ask her, what was it like for you opening night when you were standing in the wings and thinking, it's my first musical, and, here I am not a musical performer?
Well, I think I'm the kind of a woman who, having made a decision, once I decide I'm going to make that gamble, which I believe very strongly in doing in life, taking those kind of chances with work, big chances. I don't believe in little ones, only big ones. I've been on the stage before, and I feel very at home on the stage. So that aspect of it only is exciting for me. Nerve-wracking, but exciting. But with a musical, I knew when I accepted it, when I said, okay, I'll do it, I thought, okay, kid, boy, now this is something you've always wanted to do. Would have been nice if you had been 20 years old when you started doing it, but that not being the case, you just go in there and do the best you can. I know I'm not a singer, but I am musical. And I did know that, and so I knew that at least my instincts go with music. and with rhythm and tempo. So it's very natural to me, and it makes me feel good. So although, of course, I was terrified, but I'm always terrified. I mean, I don't understand anything else, actually. That seems to be a permanent state. But, so, I mean, I felt I was full of anticipation. I thought, well, you either do it or you don't. If you don't, there's very little room for failure in the United States. So if you don't, you don't. So you go wash dishes. I don't know, you got to find something else to do. But we don't worry about that until the time comes. Having taken the big plunge and made the decision, once that's done, then it's just working and learning how to do it. Learning the lines and trying to make it as good as you can.
Now, as that first performance of Applause was going on and you knew the critics were all out there, and then there was that interminable time when you have to wait for the reviews to come out. Did you have good vibes, Miss Becall? Did you think you really were going to get the reviews that you got?
Well, it's everybody's dream, every actor's dream, to be given accolades above and beyond what we dare to admit we are, that we are the most talented, most brilliant, most ravishing, most desirable, most everything. Only superlatives will do. But in the case of Applause, obviously, I mean, we wanted it to be a hit. We didn't know whether it would be or not. Instinctively, we felt that it would be, because we had a wonderful company, really good, terrific cast, and very well directed show, and well put together, and done with great care and great love. And I really think when all of that is invested in one thing, it's very hard to lose.
So that waiting time then till you actually read the reviews wasn't all that painful for you?
Well, no, I mean, you wait, but you see, by then you're so tired, number one. By the time opening night comes, you were so exhausted. We'd been out of town for 10 weeks or something. And by then, I mean, you're absolutely gaga. 6 weeks of rehearsal, and you do changes every 5 minutes, and you don't know where you are. And that, and the nerves, and the adrenaline keeps going, you see, which is what makes it happen. But, of course, somewhere in the back of your head, you say, I don't know, but, I hope they like it. What are they going to say? But I think as the work finally does take over and become the primary concern, you are so preoccupied with what you're doing, and then the relief when you've finally gotten through the opening night without fainting from fear. It's such a bonus that you just don't know anything, and you're on a tremendous high, you see. And the only thing that can take you off that high is a slam from a critic. And thank God we didn't get slammed, so.
You said, well, look at me, I'm alive. I don't suppose anybody has ever done an interview with you that they didn't bring up the subject of bogey, right?
I would say that's close to true. Close to true, yes.
Do you wish that people wouldn't keep bringing it up, or is it kind of good for you?
No, I don't. Frankly, I don't see the point of bringing it up unless it's an interview that is being done really about my life in depth or whatever, which interviews are generally not. They have to do with what you're doing at the moment and, what your work is and whatever. I find that now, God knows I'm aware, as everyone else in the world is, at the importance of Bogey as a legendary cult figure, as a man who left his mark, and a greater mark than probably any other film actor in history ever has or ever will have, on every generation of people all over the world that see him. He had a very unique quality, and he certainly blessed my life. I mean, it was quite extraordinary. But I have lived my own life for 20 years. And I think that you cannot, I don't have a husband now, thank God, but Jesus, you cannot continually be bringing up somebody. It's just too tough, And I think by now I'm entitled to have my own life, and unless I am going into it deeply, as I say, I see no need to discuss it.
Is this it for you right now, Miss Becall? You have a glorious career continuing for you, or
I'll be on the breadline next month. What do you mean glorious?
Listen, I think any actor who's working is having a glorious career.
Listen, and I chose for a woman who was born into the world insecure. I have chosen possibly the most insecure life that one could hope to choose, because you can be a tremendous hit and then you can be out of work for 3 years. So
But the point is this, is this where you want your life to be and to continue? Or do you sometimes look in the mirror and say, why don't you just find some rich guy and get married and, sail the seven seas or something? Do you ever have those feelings?
well, I look in the mirror and say, why don't you look better all the time? Or why don't you quit? But not finding a rich man and getting married. Number one, rich men have never appealed to me, unhappily for me. I either go for paupers or nuts, or both, but never, nobody rich, nothing easy.
See. Miss Becall, do you wish that people wouldn't ask you about Bogie? Miss Becall, is this where it is for you now? I mean, is this the good life, or do you sometimes just wish you could find a rich man to marry and go off and sail the seven seas? Miss Becall, you really made musical theater history with applause. It was your first musical, and you won a Tony Award and a Sarah Siddons Award. But I can't help but wonder what it was like for you that opening night when you were standing in the wings, knowing the critics and everybody were out there. What was it like for you?